time since I did a live video. These things are, well, we gave up doing them because we couldn't stop getting technical issues, and it's so long since I did one. I wear reading glasses now so I can see what's going on. But welcome if you are here. I hope to do these videos on maybe a weekly or a fortnightly basis again. We've got a slight change in scenario and circumstances, and I'm going to try and rearrange that so it looks a little bit neater. But I'm doing them in the house now because it's too busy being out in the armoury, and if I put any kind of long pointy still things on screen that go bang, YouTube are now very, very not liking anything on screen at all on a live video, regardless of if you touch it or not. But quite simply, what I need to do is get some questions posed and see if I can actually find out where these questions are going to appear, because at the moment I can't see anything on a screen anywhere. So this could yet again be particularly stressful or completely non-functional, but we shall see. My assistant Chris is here this evening, and I just wonder, you see any questions yet, Chris? No. Perhaps maybe, do you want to put something on, say just type something in and just see if something pops up?
Comments on come up on my screen.
Well, we need to try and see that. Someone's put evening, Chris. I'm going to have to put my reading glasses on, aren't I? But I can't see it on the big screen either. This is, like I said, I'm very sorry, but there is a slight learning curve in this because you can't kind of practice doing live stuff. And who knows what on earth YouTube is going to do with it. It's actually appearing on the big TV there, but I can't see any questions appearing there anywhere. So somebody please type me a question so that I can see anything that appears, because otherwise this will be a fairly quiet show. Not sure what that's doing. Well, this is all good. Somebody type me a question, see if we can get a question to appear somewhere, because I am totally at sea on this. Because before that wasn't the issue, getting the questions to appear, but now nothing is appearing at all. Well, I tell you what I'll do. I'm going to go into my comments on my, oh, hang on, we've got something here. Something's popping up now. Right. Right, just give me 1 second. I just need to find out where this is going to appear in sequence legibly. If I go into comments there, those are all old ones. This is excruciatingly. Can I do that? Will they appear? No, that doesn't really help me there. Where can I see these questions stay on screen? Because they did flash up then. Right, when you're getting the new DRS2 test, nobody seems to be doing any. I did see them last week at the British Shooting Show, and obviously I do a lot of guns for Sportsman Gun Centre FX rifles. I've seen them, I've ordered one, I'll get it when I get it. But the thing is, the trade team there will always supply the dealers first who are selling them rather than reviewers such as myself. So I've been firmly patted on the head and told me I'm second or even third best, because they'll sell the retail ones first, then they'll sell the ones to the dealers who want to move them. And of course that DRS is a very nice looking rifle, kind of ticks the boxes for me, and I do want to see one actually. So as soon as I get one, you will know about it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell and all that malarkey, and maybe we can get some contact going quickly to you. But nowhere are these questions appearing other than when they flash up on screen. So if I'm not looking at the screen, they instantly appear. I don't see them. Let's try an iPad and see if we can see anything on the iPad as well as the laptop and the TV and everything else, because nothing is showing me the questions. This didn't used to be the problem. Come on, people, send me a question. Send me a question. I want a whole stream of questions so I can actually read. So, oh, hang on, we got one here. When will the review be on about the Airgun TNC 255? Which Airgun is that? Is that the thermal one that was at the British Shooting Show? Because it's a bit hit and miss as to knowing what's going on with them and when they'll be appearing. If that is the thermal one, I'm probably sure I'll get one at some point. But as for when, I don't know. Because I was dealing with a lot of people at British Shooting Show a couple of weeks back, and there's loads of stuff said, oh, Chris, will you do this? Chris, will you do that? Chris, will you do that? Chris, will you do the other? But then they all went off and did EWA. I didn't go to EWA, long story. And after that, I've started getting some contact today, actually, from Night Pearl is one example, when gear will be arriving with me to review. So we shall see. And generally speaking, if it's something new and quite exciting, you'll know as soon as I do. Hi, Chris. Tried to find you last Saturday at the shooting show. No trace. Well hidden. No, I was just everywhere. Took the wife. And the questions disappeared now. Product you're most excited to get your hands on from the BSS? I don't know. There was nothing utterly thrilling there. Your thoughts on the streamlined pellets? I don't really do anything with those, but if you send me some, we'll see, won't we? Sorry, I'm having to react phenomenally quickly to any questions that are appearing because they come up on the screen and then they just disappear, and I can't get any kind of list as to where they actually are. How can I find these questions? We've got 27 people watching now, so that's very nice of you all. Thank you very much. I'm just absolutely terrified of pressing any buttons on screen because we'll meet perhaps next year, if not in New Zealand. James Carey. You've got to be so careful of pressing any buttons because they're all just symbols and whatever, and you don't know what they actually mean. So you've just got to hope for the best as to whether they're something's going to do benefit. Oh, I've just pressed something now. I've no idea what that is. Where's the best range you visited? That's an interesting one. Best range I've ever visited. I've visited a lot of ranges. None of the ones in the UK. Actually, no, I might lie about that. Chobham range at Bisley is superbly good, but you've kind of got to deal with Bisley, which makes it bad. What review have you in the past? Bagara Wilderness, the Mulcarbon. Bagara, now I was told at the British Shooting Show that the Bagara rifles, nobody told anybody, but Bagara moved their factory last year, so everything got completely slowed down in terms of producing anything. EB Arms XV2, I'll probably be getting one of those, but I don't know when. Let me just try and get rid of all this stuff on the screen here. Right, that's got that. So the best range I've visited. Yeah, Chobham's really, really good, but it's so hard to deal with. I mean, I shoot a lot of WMS firearms because I love going there, but it's kind of not a range, so to speak, in the conventional sense. You can, hire it for the day, have the booking for the day, but it's not like just turning up at range. That's the kind of thing you do in America because you basically just turn up, use a lane, whatever. There's all sorts of stuff going on. I used a really nice range when I was out in Colorado last October when I was on the Savage and Hornady trip, and the range there, just fixed firing position. There were maybe 6 benches, and we had targets out to about 1,100, 1,200 yards, I think they were. And I had that Savage straight pull rifle in 7mm PRC, which I'm supposedly going to receive at some point when it comes into the country because I built that rifle in the factory for myself, so I am actually getting that one. So we'll see. But that was a great range. Somebody's put me a thumbs up. Rai, thank you. James Carey, where did you get that shared viewing aid? The one where you sang. Oh, the Lost Scout. Just Google Lost Scout. LOSTSCOUTE. Lost Scout. Paul Baseford, was it Paul? I can't think of his name. He was selling them at the show. In fact, he put the video I made of it on the screen at the show because I was kind of looking at this video and thinking, hang on, that's me there. But yeah, there we go. Paul, I'm terrible with names, but yeah, the thing is called the Lost Scout. LOSTSCOUTE. Google that, I'm sure you'll find it. The Lost Scout, and that's what it was. So there we go. Right, next question. Somebody send me a question because I cannot read previous questions. If I don't see them, they instantly pop up. They are just not showing at all. And that is really, really frustrating. Right, somebody sent me a question. What are the questions we have? The DRS. That DRS does look nice. I handled it at the show, and I'm looking forward to getting one. Right, When does Arkan TNC go on sale in the UK? I've no idea. You'll have to ask Arkan. That's from Russell Wilson. I don't work for them. Keep track online, because I did get an email from them yesterday, but it was just saying thank you for visiting us at the show. Nothing else particularly about new product. And of course, you've always got this long supply chain, because it's all physically got to get here from China, and although they send out some samples and prototypes and things, it could be 3 months before you actually see a real retail version of something. I've got stuff physically here in prototype format that I bet we won't see for 6 months in the UK, even if a gun show or anything, because you know, when they arrive here, then they say, oh, you got to do this firmware update and this, that, and the other, because in the time it's taken to ship them here, they've redeveloped software, firmware, whatever's going on, and it's just a long chain. And let's be honest, they're always trying to tease us with what's coming in the future rather than getting necessarily everything sold that they've got now. But you've just got to keep track online, because even if I make a video on something, that video can go live today and it can be out of date tomorrow. Right, quick one. Daryl Griffiths, it's not a question you need, it's answers. How to show previous questions law. Yeah, that's a good one. If you can help me out on that one, Daryl, that'd be great, because that never used to be a problem, but there's always one problem or another with these live videos. Right, Rob the Gob, could you missed that. Something to do with RWS 500. I'm just trying to multitask and find. Where are these questions appearing? This is so frustrating. Unbelievable. There's 40 people watching and I can't see the questions anywhere. I might say a rude word. I've got a really good one actually, because one of my friends got me the Roger Melly Visbook of Profanity, and I've learned some great ones in there this evening. This is just nuts. Have you got any idea where we can see these question screens? Yeah, I'm going to say.
The video on there, see if there's, because the comments aren't coming on my phone.
I daren't take my eyes off the screen, because that's where I briefly see them come up. Oh, come on, iPad. Work on my fingerprint. I love technology, that's why I go shooting guns, because they're all old-fashioned. Have a look at that, Chris. I'm peering, because if it comes up, I've got to see it and react to it and read it quickly. And right, oh yeah, Chris, can you see a show chat button? What does it look like? Because the thing is, every time you get used to something on a screen, they change it, because someone in a programming department in some faraway land goes, oh, we didn't like that emoji, let's change it to this emoji, and then you have to learn a new language. Can you see the live chat screen? Yes, I can see the live chat screen. What's the preference, FAC or air rifle? Depends what it's for. If it's for squirrels and rats and things in trees and ground, FAC air rifle's great, normal air rifle's great, but if it's for more than that, I don't seek to get an air rifle to do a firearm job. If you want to use an air rifle to do a firearm job, that's up to you, but I don't seek to push an air rifle to do a firearm job, because quite frankly, it's a lot simpler. Ooh, the magic Christopher Vaux has got this sorted. He's got, oh, look at this, we got them all up on the iPad screen. Right, here we go. Right, Winter Farms, air rifle, 177 or 22. Well, it depends what it's for. I've got 177 and 22 sub-12 air rifles. Probably the most I shoot is squirrels. 177 air rifle at sub-12 of that from the kitchen window, do loads. Right, do pumps have lumps? Okay, Rob the Gob, thanks. Right, hammers and twangers, what was your outstanding product at the British Shooting Show? I don't know what was outstanding. There were some interesting new rifles from ATA, which seek to really bring a lot of the chassis rifles really into the budget game. The prices looked good. We'll see when we get them. I'll be getting one of those to review, probably in a Creedmoor or something like that. The FX rifles were always good. The new little FX pocket chronograph, also good. Other stuff I saw a lot of the Anschuts and Bagara gear from the company. It used to be Ruag, it's now called Artemis Outdoors UK, I think. The boss there told me that they'd had something, they've been completely changing the company, and then when Bagara themselves kind of shut down because they moved the factory, and that's all slowed that down. But so again, there's a big lag on that, but hopefully I'll be getting it. Right. Hi Chris, looking good today. What's the date today? Is it the 6th today? Chris, looking at Robert Howe. When you getting the new DRS to test? I think we've said that. I'll get that one here. Arkan, yes. Tried to find his Saturday at the shooting show. Took the wife. Shock her for 6 hours. She dutifully followed me. Unfortunately, James Carey, if I'm just I'm here, there, and everywhere. And actually, on the Friday, I left the show at 3 o'clock because I got so much footage. I wanted to get home, edit it, and put it up online. And that video has done absolutely massive views. It's done about 50,000 views. Saturday, I was there till closing time as well. Products you're most excited to get your hands on BSS. I got a Zeiss trail camera came today. I passed it on to my assistant Dave and told him to read the instructions because he loves cameras. Where's best range you visited? You know, there's a lot of good ranges, but yeah, I think I said Chobham if you're paying to go to Bisley, but I don't like going to Bisley. I find it really difficult. I have worked at Chobham as well, but I like going to WMS because I work there and I shoot there loads. I'm going there on Sunday actually. Bagara Wilderness, right. Any upset? Airarms XV2, we said about that. Where did you get the shared viewing aid? Yeah, that's the Lost Scout, Ark and TNC. Question, not the question, answers. Right, could do with some help on FAC RWS Series 500 adjustment parts. I don't really know anything about RWS Series 500, and if you have one, you need to speak to your dealer because your dealers are the people who are supposed to cure these problems. I can only cover what is sent to me. Chris, can you see a show chat button? I wish I could have done, but there we go. Right, can you see the live chat? Yeah. What's your preference FAC? We've done that one. Hi, Chris. Numerous mentions regarding if you're shooting PRS, this rifle would work when I say, I wonder if GBPRA could welcome you. Well, GBPRA do ask me to do things, or certain people from GBPRA, but it's a case of I don't shoot PRS because I've had a competitive shooting background in various other sports, and I've travelled the world doing it, and I don't really want to spend all my money racing around the country to do it all again for a different sport. Plus I'm old now and I'm disabled actually, technically speaking I'm disabled, and it just doesn't float my boat doing it. I quite like shooting it for fun. I did a rimfire PRS match last year which was really good fun actually, and I did enjoy that, but it was local to me, it was in like Sheffield way, so that was all fine. Maybe I'll do a video how to get into sport, but to be honest, there's so many people doing everything about PRS. You know, where's the space for me? And the thing is, I can't afford to just do it on a whim. Ryan Charlton at Hand Outdoors puts out loads of stuff about PRS, and you know, there's the contact the organisations and tell them what you want as a prospective shooter, really. Van der Ven, would you choose for a fixed magnification rifle scope or variable magnification for hunting roe deer? To be honest, can you really even buy fixed mag scopes these days? I'm not really sure there's many around. I don't think I've ever reviewed one in 15 years of reviewing stuff. I mean, they probably are there somewhere. You know, we probably get 6x42s and 8x56s. In fact, no, I tell a lie. I did a Schmidt & Bender Classic 8x56 last year, 2 years ago. Beautiful, beautiful scope. Of course, amazing low light capability, but in this day and age with the laws changing and digital night vision, if you really wanted to be shooting low light, well, the digital stuff really does it better, doesn't it? Okay, you don't get that beautiful clarity and beautiful image you get in daylight, but it's a tough one. I'd always choose a variable, to be honest, because they just give you so much more versatility. You know, you get a 3-12 56, that's an awesome scope for hunting. Would you rather a cheap rifle and expensive scope, or expensive rifle and cheap scope? That's a simple one. I'd go for the cheap rifle and expensive scope, comparatively speaking. I mean, if it's so cheap it's junk, it's no good. But you generally, you know, you've got to be able to see it before you can shoot it. So if you can't see it well, you're never going to shoot it well. It doesn't matter how good the gun is if you can't see it well, is it? So I think it's pretty much that way around. And if I said now, if I had to sell every single rifle I own, not one of them would be worth more than peanuts compared to the scope that's on top of it. And I'm not saying the junk rifles, I'm just saying the scopes are, you know, especially as you get older and your eyes get a bit weaker and you really do appreciate the good optics. Right, next one. Would you rather expensive? Alpex 4K, well, you put K4, but Corfate Alpex 4K LRF or Pulsar C50. Don't know if they don't want to send me either of them, so I don't touch them. That's that. I used the C50 a few years ago. I mean, the Alpex 4K does look good superficially, but I personally prefer scopes with eye relief because I was out today using one of the Airgun scopes. Well, I was just zeroing it, to be honest, checking zero because I'm on a rabbit shooting trip next week. And the other really annoying thing about having no eye relief is the fact that the heat from your face, especially if you're looking and messing around with menus and things, the heat from your face just steams all the lenses up, and especially you got the rubber buffer tube and everything like that on it, and you're close into it, it's just steamed up straight away, and it's just rubbish, to be honest. I hate that. And of course, if you've got one, especially when you're setting up zeroing, messing around with menus, things like that, if you've got one with a long eye relief and you can take the rubber eye cup off, it's brilliant because it's just like using a regular daylight scope, and that is where, dare I say, that's why I use Pard DS, because I just find them so easy to use. And in fairness, I don't think they have the best image quality that's available. It's certainly usable image quality, but in terms of operating the scope, finding the buttons, having the eye relief, using the menus, using the zoom, it is by far and away the easiest one I've ever used. But I might be proved wrong, and then everybody catches up, and then somebody leapfrogs ahead, and everybody thinks that's the best, and blah blah blah. Yeah, the Alpex 4K I think does have very, very nice image quality, but it's got to have the usability as well to make that worthwhile. Right, Joe Foster, hi Chris, do you have a special kind of firearm certificate as you are able to shoot any rifle and any caliber as well as travelling about? Yes, I do. I have a registered firearms dealer's license. I couldn't do what I do without it. I've had that for nearly 15 years, whatever it is. You couldn't do what I do without an RFD. Although ironically, travelling overseas, because of different countries and this, that and the other, they usually want to see your UK hunting licence. And of course we don't really have a UK hunting licence, but we do have a personal firearm certificate, which they generally accept as your hunting licence. So I do use my firearm certificate for that. But most of the review rifles and review scopes, I mean, sometimes a review scope will go on one of my own personal rifles, but other times I will generally just use all my RFD rifles because they're not mine. They can get worn out. They don't really have to, I'm not burning a hole in my own personal armoury, you could say. But anyway, that's it. It's an RFD, so simple as that. I don't really retail anything because I'm not interested in having a shop. I'm not interested in undercutting dealers. I have an RFD for the purposes of journalism, and that's that. Right, Heli MTB's giving me a thumbs up. Keith, right, Chris, can you give me your thoughts on the CZ MTR, and is it available in a 24-inch barrel? Right, well, my thoughts on the CZ MTR are in the full video review I've done on the CZ MTR. It's a very good rifle. It's a very accurate rifle. Of all the CZ 457s, it's not the one I would choose for me personally, but if you watch all the reviews on all the 457 rifles I've done, every single one tells you you've got to pick the one that you want, that you think is going to suit you. The action's the same on them all. The trigger's the same on them all. The triggers can be adjusted. I've just done another 457 video yesterday, and I'm editing that today to go out tomorrow, because I was on a play about shooting some long distances and whatever. But if you like that stock, that's the one for you. As for whether it's available in a 24-inch barrel, I don't think so. But why would you want a 24-inch barrel? You're going to get all the velocity you need from a 20, and the whole point of the old target rifles with super long barrels was to give you an extended sight radius, so you've got more precision with an open-sighted rifle. I'm sure you could ask CZ if they want to make you one though, but I suspect that will be a little bit financially beyond making sense. Right, Ricky Walker, Chris, has the Alpex superseded your Pard 35? No, because I haven't got one, and I've got 3 Pard 35s, and I was using 2 of them today. I was getting a load of stuff zeroed today, or just checking zero today, because I'm going away on a big trip on Sunday. So I've got a lot to go on. But if Hick want to send me one, they can send me one. But well, I'm not going to buy one to use. Right, James Skinner, when will the new CZ rimfire rifle start shipping? 457 MTR range LPR, I think you mean LRP. I don't know. Where do you mean shipping from? Because you need to speak to Sportsman Gun Company, because they import and distribute CZ rifles. So I said CZ there. I've gone too American. Sportsman Gun Centre import and distribute CZ rifles, so you really need to speak to them, because I don't deal rifles. I can't tell you current prices, because if I put a current price on a video, number one, YouTube think I'm trying to sell guns, and they actually bin the video's monetization, so I earn nothing from it. Number two, if I tell you a price on a rifle, that video might already be a week old before it goes live, and then in another week's time the price may have changed. Your dealers are who sell the rifles. They're the ones you have to contact for current pricing, okay? I'm just thinking, I can't not wear my glasses. I can't read anymore. Right. Right. Where we are. Chat, LRP. Right. Bluebird Pedro. Hi, Chris. Have you any recommendations for a first rifle for someone just getting into exclusively at present range shooting? Buy a 2.2 rimfire. I have shot pretty much everything there is available in the UK, and I still love shooting 2.2 rimfires more than anything. I made a fun little video 2 days ago, and I was just having a great fun shooting a CZ457 stainless synthetic, and I just like shooting 2.2 rimfire. And if you're on a range, you don't need indoor ranges 25 meters, whatever. If you're outdoor ranges, push a 2.2 rimfire to 100 meters. It's really challenging and great fun, and you're learning so many fundamentals. You've no recoil, you've not a huge amount of cost, you've not a huge amount of noise. There's just nothing wrong with 2.2 rimfires. You're not going to shoot tiny little groups at 500 meters, but it's all relative. Next, Drago J. Hi, were you at EWA 2024? Well, the simple answer is no, because I booked it. I booked the flights, I booked the hotel, I booked everything, but due to some personal circumstances at home, I didn't go. And then Lufthansa basically said, because of all the train strikes and things, they weren't necessarily 100% sure they could even get me to Nuremberg from landing on a plane in Frankfurt, so they gave me a refund on the flights, so I didn't go. It's a shame, but I haven't seen anything from EWA yet that I'm kind of like, oh no, I've missed that. It's not the show it was, unfortunately. I would like to have gone, but it's not the show it was. I was supposed to go to Jagd and Hunt in January. Similarly, Lufthansa, who organised the trains and planes and everything, contacted me and said, German train strikes, can't guarantee your train, do you want a refund? I went, oh, okay then. And it's just been really, really troublesome. The Germans themselves are quite, shocked by this, because they're not used to train strikes and this, that, and the other. I'm so used to, after 10 years of going to Germany, having great transportation. And when Lufthansa themselves are saying, would you like a refund because we can't guarantee anything, I think, right, well, I don't want to spend 3 nights in an airport waiting on nothing, so I won't go. So I didn't go. There we go. Simple as that. I decided to move a house instead. Right, Horsham Heating. Hi, Chris. I got my Ruger Precision Lapua on your vid upgraded from the 308. Okay. I got my Ruger Precision Lapua. Not quite sure I understand that, if that's a question or a statement, but I've done a few Ruger Precisions, and one of my big videos is actually the RPR and 338, which is done very, very well. But I know people do like watching big rifles, etc. So that's gone very well. Right, how far? Oh, that's it. We're at 28 minutes on this now. We appear to have run out of questions now. We've got 49 people watching, which is very nice of you, because I do love interacting with my viewers. And theoretically, if I can work this out, I won't bother with my laptop next time, because it's done absolutely nothing. And I will speak to Chris and see how the hell he got the questions to appear on my iPad. Because they're not appearing on my iPhone, which is in front of me. There's a massive telly behind the iPad over there, which I can see myself on. And my laptop's here, and not one of them except the iPad showing it. So well done, Chris. Everybody give Chris a round of applause. And of course, yeah, so thank you for... Oh, hang on, we got some more here. MOA or Mills? Sorry, I'm Mills these days. I've just... Neither's better or worse. They're a bit different. You'll figure it out. It's like saying millimetres or inches. I just work in mils now, just because I went metric. I got a German girlfriend, so I went metric several years ago. There we go. Right. Horsham Heating, yes, the same one you reviewed, mate. It's a beast. Oh, right, the 338. Yeah, you put a 308, so 338. Rise put Chris. I've got five claps. So yeah, it's better than having the one clap, isn't it? But there we go. Right, is everybody done? Is everybody? Oh, hang on. King Snow. Hi, Chris. Just here to say cheers from Bourgogne. Is that? Hang on, let me just say that. Bourgogne, France. Love your content and thank you very much. It's strange that the only foreign language I actually speak is a little bit of French. I wish I'd done German as well, but there we go. How do I say? My mind's gone blank and I'm not going to embarrass myself. Right, Ricky Walker. Chris, have you anything going on in USA? No, I went out there last October and I did the big videos from that trip, but Loophole didn't want me to publish the video, and Hornady's video went absolutely brilliantly, and the Savage video did really well as well. So why Loophole didn't want me to publish, I don't know, because of the three of them, it was the best video, and it sat on my YouTube channel waiting for me to click the live button, but they just don't want it to go live, so I don't know. Nothing else specifically going on in the USA, but you know, that was a fun trip I went on thanks to OMI, which is Outdoor Marketing International in Germany, and they consulted all the UK distributors and said, which journalists do you want sent from the UK to go to Savage, Hornady and Loophole? And you know, I flew Manchester to Frankfurt to Boston, Boston to Denver we went hunting, then went Denver to Omaha, Denver to it was about, I think it was about 15,000 miles of flying, so you kind of go on a trip like that when someone else is funding it. But it's great because you get to see loads of stuff, and the hunting was fantastic, and I hope you've all enjoyed watching the videos on that. But currently there's nothing going on in the US for me because there's not that much US market crossover, and most of the rifles that I review and appear popular in the UK aren't the American ones. So maybe that'll change because, you know, we've got Savage makes some really good rifles, but you know, they need to gain a bit of popularity again. Ruger are good rifles. I don't think I've ever had a bad Ruger rifle. But then the other ones are kind of the crossovers, like Winchester technically is coming from Japan, Browning, whatever. Winchester make good rifles as well. They're surprisingly good because they put bedding in them, which always makes them good shooters. The Winchester XPR is one of those rifles that you just think, I've never had a bad one. I've had about 6 of them. There's not that many junk rifles around, but some of them just easily shoot better than others. Right, Chris, have you anything? Right, Amazon and eBay, no trace of the lost Scout. A link, please. I can't do that right at the second, James Carey, because I'm trying to do this live video. I will try and respond to your question either on this one or next week when I've got the live video, got the link. Right, Lens Adelberger. What do you think about the new Blaser caliber 8.5 by 55? Here in Germany, many I know are really interested in this kind of thing. In the UK, it's just non-existent because it's a European caliber, really. If it's anything like I think it probably is, it's good for the short-range driven hunting, the short-range hunting, because you've got that immediate smackdown effect of a big, large caliber bullet without necessarily going at ridiculous speeds. Nothing really in the UK much above 30 calibers used for hunting, and you know, generally the UK tends to, from my experience of hunting in the UK and in Germany, UK seems to be a bit further out, longer range shooting, and I'm not talking, you know, 500 meters, but I'm certainly talking 150, 200 meters. Whereas when I've been on wild boar hunts and European hunts, there's nothing really been pushed at that kind of distance. So yes, perhaps it's one for that close range, hard knockdown potential, especially with using non-toxic copper ammunition types. Mike Bird has done me a British archery thumbs up. Okay. Or archery target. Yes, I was on the Great Britain archery team many moons ago. Robert Howe, two-end air tiffles. Something about air rifles getting too expensive. Yes, they are expensive, but the thing is, everybody's pushing for advanced, you know, more and more advancement. And the last 2 air rifles I bought myself were old Springers because I just wanted Springers. If the market will justify it, the manufacturers will make it. So if people are out there buying them, and at the end of the day, you get things like the FX, the Day States, this, that, and the other. The demand is more than the supply in a lot of cases. Right, Sam Miller, hi Chris, will you be doing a review on the new Anschutz APR 1761? Yes, I hope so, but that's one I've been chasing since EWA last year. Again, that's Artemis Outdoor UK. I spoke with the boss last week at the British Shooting Show, and I will hopefully get one, but it's a case of when. It's a case of when, and I've spent the last 3 months building a shooting range near my house, so I've done fewer reviews, but hopefully it'll stop raining and the mud will subside and we can get out and do more, which I have been doing this last week or so. Right, but anyway, I'll chase that Anschutz because I do want to see him. I like doing Anschutz. I love doing rimfires. Right, AWH Van Ven. Which brand all-round hunting scope would you advise for first hunting rifle, higher end budget? Right, well, if you're talking higher end budget, let's look. You've got Schmidt & Bender, you've got Zeiss, you've got Swarovski, you've got Carles. You know, name whichever ones you want. My personal preference would probably be a Schmidt & Bender or a Zeiss. Swarovski, that's a personal thing though, because Swarovski's, you know, beautiful image quality, but I tend to prefer the mechanics, the external mechanics of Zeiss and Schmidt & Bender. Swarovski have got very fine reticles as well. It's so personal because it really depends on your eyesight, colour balance of what you want to see, reticle types you want and like. Because if the reticle's too fine for me, I'm not that bothered by it. And of course, I only ever get to review the ones that are sent to me. So I'm a bit of a first focal playing guy these days. And of course, all scopes are available in mils or minutes, and these ones particularly are generally mils or 10th mil clicks. But in terms of the external mechanics and turrets and things like that, I do like the Schmidt & Benders and the Zeiss. I've done a lot of long-range shooting with both in both target and hunting environments, and they're just kind of my preference. I'm trying to angle these glasses so they're not reflecting or everything on the screen. So yeah, those are the three big names. I mean, Carles do beautiful image quality, again similar to Swarovski. It's the same company essentially speaking, I think. But it's very much down to colour balance. I often say to people, if you look at a blue sky with your eyes, and you put a hand over one eye and a hand over the other eye, you'll see a different colour of blue with both eyes. And you can do this on different times and in different environments. And you'll notice that your eyes are probably slightly different to each other. And if your eyes are slightly different to each other, then your eyes and my eyes are more than likely going to be slightly different to each other. And it's all about the colour balance and what you really love in the image. Again, as I said earlier, these days, that extreme low light, last light performance within legality is really shifting into the digital world now, because, you know, that witching hour where you really can't see anything in a daylight optic, go over to your digital night vision, and even in full colour mode, you can see it plain as day, good enough for a hunting shot. But on the other hand, I certainly wouldn't want to use a digital scope for high resolution shooting or high resolution image quality for when you do long range. When you want to see a tiny bullet splash at 1,000 meters, no digital scope is showing you that, trust me. Certainly nothing available to the civilian market, that's for sure. Let me just have a look where we got up to now. Darryl Griffiths, right, will guns be socially more accepted like they used to be when I was a kid? I think you might as well wish on Cloud Cuckoo Land on that one, because they'll never really be socially accepted, I don't think. They're only ever going to go downhill, in my opinion. It's a one-way ticket. Right, Mr. 11111222, I'm not going to read them out. Hi Chris, hope that you are doing well. What do you say about the quality of the bore on Mauser M18 Fenris? Because I heard of many people that get rusty quite quick and easy. Well, I certainly didn't have any problems with how many Mauser M18s have I got? I got one when they first came out in 243, and I won't lie, I've burnt that one out good and proper, because I used it to death, and it's dead, and it's still in the cabinet, and it really needs scrapping, to be honest, but that's not through failure, that's because I shot a lot of ammunition through it, and 243s are fairly barrel hard. The Fenris I had was a superb rifle, same action, different stock. Obviously, was it Creedmoor I had the Fenris in? A little bit softer on barrels too. I didn't have any problem with it, but the biggest problem people have with barrels, generally speaking, is corrosion, because they leave sound moderators on. So don't leave your sound moderators on. That is the big gun killer. It really is. And I have actually had a couple of guns that I have accidentally left moderators on, and you soon, next morning, you can see condensation issues. Take the moderators off. Don't bring, if you go out shooting and it's cold, don't bring the gun straight in the house, because it will warm up quickly, get condensation everywhere, and you need to dry that thing out. Otherwise, all that water is sitting in the barrel. And because you see all the condensation on the outside, but you don't see it on the inside, but it is all there. So beware of that. And moderators kill more guns than the amount of ammo you do will. Anyway, I didn't have a problem with the M18 Fenris. That was simple as that. But the Creedmoor one I've had no problem at all. That was a stainless one. And what was the other M18 I've had? I've reviewed 4 of them over time, and none of them have been a problem. Right, 4K box, TV box. I love the names on this. I mean, how do you make them all up? I don't know. Right, best airgun you have tested. Well, I've never reviewed it, but I own an HW100 and I've had it for 10 years and it's been serviced twice. I give it a 5-year service. I shoot absolutely loads of squirrels with it and I love it to pieces. Even when it's needed to go in service, it's only because it's developed a fairly characteristic, very slow leak on the air bottle. Chris, who sat next to me, the other Chris, he's bought one as well, although he did stupidly sell an Air Arms 410, which I thought was a superb rifle, and you sold that and bought an HW100, didn't you? Which is, again, another great rifle.
Then
but
bought my Rapid 7 back.
And then you bought he bought his own Rapid 7 back, which I'd sold for him about 10 years ago, and then someone offered back to me and I sold it back to him. But I love the HW100. It is what it is, but it's not really a great FAC rifle. And of course now I've got very used to FAC air rifles, and going ratting with an FAC air rifle is an awful lot simpler than going ratting with a sub 12. I mean, I have a massive amount of respect for sub 12 shooters who are really doing the goods, because the precision you need on it is amazing. I mean, let's say I shoot a lot of squirrels from the kitchen window with a sub 12 177 HW100, and if you misplace that pellet by just by millimeters, and I'm shooting, side of the head 14 meters away every time, and all I have to do is the same thing every time, and you go one day you go there, one day you go there, and the reaction's totally different. And okay, they're all fine shots, but it just reminds you just how good you've got to be with a sub 12. And when you're talking about multiple distances and things in trees and this, that, and the other, I have a huge amount of respect for air rifle shooters, really do. So that was that. Other than that, what air rifles have I had? My first ever Priest charge was a Daystate PH6, but I mean, that's really going back, isn't it? My first ever air rifle was a Varrock HW90. I've got a 95 now. I've got a 97K. What else have we got between us? We've got Rapid 7s, Air Arms 410. I really didn't like the Air Arms 510 because I thought the magazine system was absolutely terrible on it and easily just didn't feed, did it? That little claw thing moving it around didn't work. FX, I've done loads of FX. Some of them I've liked more than others. The newest King, which I did just a few weeks ago, I really did like that. But all the thing about the plenum, I think talking about the plenum as an air thing isn't so much as talking about the plenum as a mechanical stiffening aid, and it does make the difference. But the King is in FAC format. It's a big rifle, and do you want to go hunting with it, or is it a bit of a range queen, a bit of a safe queen? People do love tinkering and tweaking FXs as target guns, and yes, it's an ace hunting rifle and you can stretch out the distances, because I think it was running about 53 foot-pounds or something like that, and because you can have it in whatever calibers you want as well. Do you want to be carrying it? It's entirely up to you. Do you want to be scratching it? It's entirely up to you. That's where the new one I think is really going to appeal. I think they're only going to be at sub 12s to start with, but I'm told that an FAC version will be available. And from a design point of view, I actually really like that, with the barrel going down the centre of the air cylinder, because it really does sort of kill two birds with one stone, if that's not an odd way to think about it. So I'm really looking forward to getting that. Right, God, we've got a lot of questions here. Right, did you get your? No, I've not done the DRS yet. Lenz Adelberger, I live near the Alps, so further shots are not new for me. I also tend to smaller calibers like 65, 55, 270, 308. 8.5 by 55 is optimised for short barrels and gives you crazy velocities out of the... Well, it could well be marketing. At the end of the day, you've got a 6.5, 55. I was out shooting mine yesterday. I've got Creedmoors, I've got 260s and a 6.5, 55. And at the end of the day, they all project a bullet at a certain speed, don't they? And the bullets are what the bullets are, and everybody wants to go hashtag long range, this, that, and the other. But realistically, would I go for an 8.5mm rifle, unless it's on a big 338 case behind it? Probably not, no, because if you're talking distance, you're going to lose ballistics on a big fat bullet like that. So, and it's also a case of what are you actually taking on with that rifle? Are you taking on a huge quarry, or are you taking on I don't know, a chamois or something? If it's a chamois, it's not exactly huge. Do you need an 8.5mm bullet for it? I don't think so. I've not hunted chamois, and I'm not sure. So that's up for you. Have a think about it. Don't trust just the marketing, because there's nothing magic about new loads and new this is new that's new others. There's there are learning experiences, and there are trends that go on because of having shorter barrels and having larger calibers and people wanting more BC, and you've got to follow the trends to think what's really going on that's going to apply to my usage. And yes, first for driven hunts, but also for longer ranges in the Alps. Well, I think the 8.5 is going to be for driven hunts, and it's not for long range in the Alps, but it's entirely up to you. And if you want to talk long range and you want to talk short barrels, you're talking at cross purposes there, because short barrels and long range don't really work in my head, I'm afraid. Let me just find my glass of water, because I'm getting a little hoarse. Or Shetland pony even. Right. James Carey's back again. You cannot do it here, but have you considered any items like a link to a YouTube post with recommended kit or items you yes, I believe it's possible without using impartiality? No, if people come up to me and ask me, I will say it. If people, like tonight, if people ask me direct questions, I will say, but you know, if you put a video up there, that video could be there could be there forever. I don't know how long YouTube's going to last. And does that mean the same today as it does tomorrow? Bear in mind the amount of kit I go through. My opinions can change quite frequently, because what's a good rifle this week doesn't become a bad rifle next week, but there might be something else comes out at a similar price and you think, oh, that really does tickle me, I really like that. So it's a case of you've kind of got to go. That's why I've come back to doing the Q&As, because you can be more dynamic, you can be more up to date, up to the moment, and it's kind of not living forever. I mean, of course, this will probably be a YouTube video that stays up there for some time, but ask the questions directly. James Carey, you are a star. Ref Air Rifles. I took mine to Ratworks. They did a great job. Okay. James Carey, new NATO military round, 6.8mm. Your thoughts? Well, I'm not in the army. I'm not shooting people. I'm not the one packaging, you know, magazines of 30 rounds and yumping them across the desert or up into a mountain somewhere. Really, does it apply to hunters? You know, you can have a 6.8 Grendel already if you want to. There's plenty of other 6.8mm stuff there. I mean, what's 6.8mm? Is that 270 6.8mm? Yes, 270 and 284. It's a case of, does it really apply to what you need? Is it actually really going to do something that you didn't have a gun that would do before? Because you're projecting a 6.8mm bullet at X speed in the case of Y size, because you don't probably need to carry, you know, I don't know, I'm not in the army and never have been. What do you carry? 200 rounds in your pack or something and resupply? I just don't know. Does it apply to a hunter? No, I've never been on a hunt where I needed 200 rounds of ammunition. I don't know. I'm kind of guessing at those statistics because I just don't know. It doesn't matter to me. Think about what it's really doing for you, because at the end of the day, it could be a 6. What it sees the cartridge. I mean, that's 6.8mm caliber. But what's the cartridge? Is it a Grendel? Is it something bigger? I don't follow military trends because it doesn't apply to the hunting market really. Triners, thoughts on the FX Halo pellet? I haven't seen it. I've not done anything with it yet. We shall see when I get some. I tend not to, just blabber on about marketing this, marketing that, marketing that. Until I've actually got something and used it, I don't divulge an opinion on things. Right, do you have any advice on hunting clothing? Prices can be ridiculous high, like Harkula, overpriced or worth it. Whatever you say about clothing, somebody will disagree with. Someone will have a different opinion, and it's like some people are quite frankly, some people are really sweaty and other people aren't. And someone's going to say, oh, this is useless, it's not breathable, I was wet through, and actually they're just absolutely wet through with their own sweat. On other cases, people aren't that sweaty and whatever. Everybody is different, and I don't really do a huge amount with hunting clothing. You'll see me wearing quite an eclectic mix of stuff because I just go with what's working for me in the weather conditions I know. I'm not at the moment doing anything in particularly bad conditions or doing any great long distance hunting because I've built a range 3 miles from my house and I go there, and okay, I've got to stick it out there all day or whatever, but the thing is, to me, it's not about what I'm wearing, it's about how waterproof my camera is these days, because I can't make videos if it's peeing it down. So I tend not to go when it's raining that much. Buy quiet hunting clothing. If you buy boots that have got metal wire laces, make sure they're not squeaky. I don't know, just that's the trivial. That's why I don't review clothing, because it just doesn't matter what you do to it. You're not a laboratory. You can't really test anything. That's why I review rifles. I don't test rifles because it's not a laboratory environment. There's too many variables going on. You form an opinion based on experience, not on specific scientific data. What else we got? Lance Rose, evening Chris, I'm thinking about an M18. Is the M12 worth the extra money? Interesting that, because I've got M18s and an M12, and I was actually shooting my M12 yesterday, which I've had for the longest. In terms of pure accuracy, there's not really a lot to say between them, but in terms of usability, the M18's a great rifle, but the M12's just that little bit slicker. There are some benefits. I actually think the stock on the M18 is a little bit stiffer in the forend, but the bolt on the M12 is beautiful, and that 3-position Winchester style safety catch is the wing safety on the back is just awesome because it locks the firing pin. You can use it totally silently. It locks the bolt, does everything you could ever want from a rifle, and they're both really good rifles. I think the M18, for a tool to do a job, the M18 will do what you need. They both use the same magazine system. On paper, there's not a huge amount of difference in the accuracy you're going to see between them. The variability from one rifle to the next is more than between the two models. So go with the one you like the most. Ryan Skizzer, what optic would you recommend for a 223 foxing rifle? You need to be a little bit more specific there because you're shooting day or at night. I mean, if you're talking optic these days, who's buying an optic for a foxing rifle? Everybody's buying digital night vision. Put a DS on it, or if you want an Alpex or something like that, go with one of those. I don't personally love thermal rifle scopes because I just think there's a little bit too much missing from what you know, but that's just me. Lens Alberg, the 6.8mm is the 270 Sig Fury. I don't know if this is a good idea to produce 2-piece cartridges, bottom steel, top brass, and pump 90k PSI. I'm sure we come back to the thing. It's all about military stuff, and I remember when I was a kid reading an article about the HKG11, what was it called? And they were going for, I can't remember what it was now, but there were polymer cartridge cases and stuff like that, and it was the most amazingly newfangled rifle of the future, and it's never happened. And I think the guy on Future Weapons has had one. Is it Future Weapons he's called? Forgotten Weapons. And I quite like that guy, he's quite cool. And I'm not really a YouTube watcher myself, but again, it was a vastly amazing futuristic project that didn't work. This one he's probably been doing for economic reasons of metallurgy and polymers and usage of materials or weight or transportation, this, that and the other. There's many more things to it that matter to the military than matter to a civilian hunter who, if you go out for the day hunting and you've got 5 rounds in your pocket, then generally speaking, if you're deer stalking, something like that, if you use all 5 rounds, you've either got it all right or all wrong. and 10 might not have made any difference anyway, never mind having 50 in your pack. So does it matter to the civilian market? Will that 6.8mm bullet do anything a 6.5 or a 7mm bullet wouldn't have done? That's the thing. That's the thing. Right, on that note, thank you very much to all the viewers this evening. It seems that it's been quite popular, and once we got it working, thanks to Chris, when I actually managed to see the questions, we got going all right. So if you like the format, please comment, and you know, a lot of you sent the questions. Watch the video, share it around. I'll upload it so it stays up there forever. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and click the notification bell on my channel, because there's always new stuff coming up. Ricky Walker, hi Chris again. Whilst I'm on air rifles, what's the most you pay for rifles? Some of the shooting shows are cheaper than air rifles. Pay for rifle. A centerfire rifle's a lot simpler than an air rifle, really. I mean, when you think about it, you compare, you know, a 60, 70, 80 foot-pound air rifle with a 2.2 rimfire. Well, you've got, I don't know, 20 O-rings bearing all that pressure in that air rifle. In the rimfire, you've got one piece of brass that gets squished between the bolt face and the breech of the barrel. So you've got a single-use O-ring. You're never going to wear it out, are you? I've never worn out a rimfire. I've never had to have one serviced. I've never had to do anything with them. So a rifle is just fundamentally a way, way, way simpler piece of mechanical engineering. So it's always going to be cheaper. The amount of power it produces is nothing to do with the price. What kit would you take for a day hunting? Oh dear. Do you remember that joke about the KSS? Sorry, the K, was it? No. CSK. Make sure you pack the combat shit kit. No, I once read an article about what goes in my hunting pack, and you put the CSK in there, and everybody's like, no one knew what it was. What would I take for day hunting? As little as possible, because I don't like carrying anything. Anything more than I absolutely need. But it depends what you're doing. Is a day's hunting going for a walk around the farm and shooting a few rabbits or a few squirrels with an air rifle, whatever, or are you off over to Kyrgyzstan shooting ibex and you're going to be gone for 2 weeks on the back of a horse? Horses for courses, really, isn't it? Gary Cooper, saw your video on the new Sauer 505. You mentioned the mounts are now Blaser style and use Allen key instead of the annoyingly thin screwdriver. Can the Sauer mounts be used on the Blaser? Yes, they are interchangeable. It's called a turn screw on the Blaser. Sorry, I'm getting very hoarse now. The Blaser mounts always use that turn screw, because once it was set up, you didn't need to adjust it unless you were swapping to another barrel with that scope mount. But essentially, they are interchangeable. And if you actually watch the video I did when I came back with the detail review with the range on the 505, which went on Gunmark TV, you'll actually notice that's actually using a Blaser mount, because I got that the day they were launched back here. I'd shot the one in Germany back in November. I got the one that were daily launched, came here, and they didn't even, Blaser UK didn't have the Sauer mounts. They had to send me a Blaser mount. It was a little bit high, but of course that's all changed now because everything's in motion. But yeah, they're interchangeable. The other thing about the 505, the 404 and 505, the stocks are interchangeable too, and I think the barrels are interchangeable. But double check that with Sauer Blaser UK, if it matters to you. Right. Van der Ven again, what's your opinion on straight pull versus bolt action rifles? Well, there's a whole Q&A session in itself. I'm not going to do that tonight, but that might be for the next video, because that's a whole hour conversation, isn't it? Right, Lens Albert, Gary, yes, they are interchangeable. All right, there we go. Straight pull versus bolt action. Yeah, it depends. What do you want? Do you really? Next week, maybe. Next week. Come back to me on that one. Right, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you to Chris, who's been sat there really patiently and thankfully got my iPad working to show the questions where the laptop, the TV and the phone wouldn't do it. It's been really nice interacting with you all. It's been about 2 years, more than 2 years, since I did a full live video, but this one appears to work because I'm literally 3 feet from the internet box. So there we go. Right, like, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, seal my reviews, share them around, make the channel grow, because the growth of the channel is what is paying for the people like the British Shooting Show to advertise on my channel, and that is what actually makes it worth my while doing it, because the magazine world is pretty dead now. And if I want to be, you know, if I need to be paying the bills for actually getting all these guns and storing them and running an RFD and insurance and shipping everything around and ammunition, that's that. Big thank you to Hornady, because they sponsor the ammunition. Big thank you to the British Shooting Show, they sponsor the channel. Those are my two big, I just can't say thank you enough to them. Right, thank you all for watching. Bye for now. And I'm going to reach out and I'm going to press off. Au revoir.